Man, it is still hot in New York, man, and it's still dark, no power, and bodies are dropping. Still talking about Predator versus Spider-Man number 2. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuss. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Smack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the most recent issues in comics, as well as past issues, as well as character bios, if you ask for it. So today, we're going to talk about Predator versus Spider-Man number 2. Man, I told you, like the end of issue 1, it made my heart sing, man, because listen, one of the dream matches I always had outside of Wolverine versus Predator was Kraven versus Predator. So now Kraven is also on the hunt for this Predator, and he's a little bit closer to finding the Predator than Peter is. But let's jump into it. So the story starts out with some technicians trying to get the power back on in New York because the power has been out, and this is where the Predator was thriving because you can't really see in the dark as a human, but the Predator, however, can. So underwater, basically, he goes into the subway station and he basically sees a river of blood, and he sees these random people hanging upside down, missing body parts, missing limbs, digits, all that. And then on top of all that, he sees this other victim, unbeknownst to him, is just a decoy. And he basically gets ripped to shreds at this point, but you find out later that Mary Jane and the person that she was helping is still alive. Now, we were led to believe that she may have been taken out, but she still is alive. Now, we go to Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man goes to his house, and he gets a knock on the door, and the knock on the door is Detective LaPearl. Now, the thing is with Detective LaPearl is, again, she is tough as nails. Like, she is very smart, and she's very good at doing police work. So she was able to put two and two together, and Peter didn't help his case either because he put his name beside the pictures that he'd taken at the crime scene where Detective LaPearl was at.
Dummy. Yeah.
So she's knocks on the door like, hey, bro, you want to let me in because I can kick the door down? And Peter's like just having all these conversations about it, just basically stalling for time. And he goes on to say, why would I kill them? And then publish an article about it. You're like, sickos love attention. She's not wrong. And she says, I'm sorry, but I really don't have time for this. And she's like, you got 5 seconds. I'm going to kick this door in. And she actually does kick the door in because she's pulled no punches tight, but he's gone. He's out the window. He's out of there. Though as he swings through New York, you notice that there's this transparent ship that's around. So apparently this looks like a Predator ship. And you go further into it and you see him flying, swinging around New York. He's looking for Mary Jane. Don't know where she's at. But also hot on the trail is Kraven. Kraven is a little bit closer. And this dialogue is awesome because he says, I have a confession. I have been bored. So very, very bored. But now I think I am not so bored because you, whoever or whatever you are worthy of Kraven the Hunter. You don't care about money. You care about flesh and blood and bone. You take their skins, but you take pieces of them as well. A finger is like a rhino horn, you will mount. An eye is like a salmon, you will like here. That means you have a den, some place to store and display and puzzle these things together artfully, don't you? Yes, you see, we think the same, you and me. To make a trophy of a trophy hunter, now that will be a prize, a real prize. To scan a human so quickly and precisely, that's as delicate and difficult a task as folding origami in a rainstorm. You must have such wonderful tools. I have never seen tracks like yours before. Bipedal, vaguely reptilian, perhaps 8 feet in height. There is just one problem. Spider-Man has been here, and he's arranged some sort of a trap. So at this point, he's right. Like, he's deducted all these things that have happened with Spider-Man and tracking down these dead bodies. And yes, Spider-Man did leave a trap, but also the person is hot on the Predator's trail, and who she thinks is the Predator trail is Detective LaPearl. Like, she's there. She was like, listen, you need to put your hands up, because honestly, if you see somebody like Kraven the Hunter, and he's been a villain in the past, and he's been known to hunt things, and it seems like it might be up his alley in a way. If you put two and two together, especially if you coming in, this the first thing you see. Yeah, Kraven, put your hands up, dog. Like, what you doing? So he goes on to say, I got a quarrel with anybody who keeps company with a room full of skinned bodies. Hands behind your back. And so at that point, like, come on now. Like, she's not stronger than Kraven the Hunter. And Kraven actually just knocks her up against the wall. And she said, listen, you are brave, but stupid. Brave and stupid would get you killed on a night like this. So here you should stay while I go hunting. So she basically springs Spider-Man's trap to have Lieutenant LaPearl like at bay while he escapes and do his own thing. Now, he goes on to say, if Spider-Man knows about you, my prize, then there is more than a hunt. It is a race. So now it is definitely a race, not against time, but just to find this person. I mean, it goes back to Mary Jane and, you know, the young lady that she's with, and they run across this homeless person in the sewers. And the homeless person like, listen, you got to be quiet. You know, you understand? Or he comes. And they run across this throne room area with all these trophies around. So Kraven was absolutely positively right when it comes to what's going on. So Spider-Man is still doing research as far as what's happening, and some book research, because obviously there's no power. And his spider sense starts to tingle as he talks to J. Jonah Jameson. He says, something scared those pigeons. Do I need to be worried about you, Parker? You're paranoid about centuries old threats and birds. You got to trust me. I've got a sense about certain things. And when he looks up, he sees 3 predators on that transparent ship that was earlier in the issue coming down for him. So it says before the power went out, when Peter saved the story about the killing to the Daily Bugle Cloud, the photograph of the crime scene triggered an algorithm that had been lying in wait for exactly such a visual signature. A signal went out and a hunting party followed. And they are here for the one who hunts without honor. So now, on top of all that, you got the 3 predators, you got Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter and this Lieutenant LaPearl going after this one predator without honor. So, man, this is the end of it. Now, this is going to be a 4-issue series. This is issue number 2. I am so happy that they are pumping out these issues, because Aliens versus Avengers, I don't know who authorized that timeline on when these comics get released, but there is a wide gap. You know what I'm saying? There's a wide gap between issues, and I am impatiently waiting on the final issue of Aliens versus Avengers. Now we reach to a segment of the show where we call our backlog box. And with our backlog box is basically comics that, you know, you be meaning to read, or stories that you're meaning to read, but, you know, the amount of great stories that's been put out there is so rampant, it's hard to keep up with. So I always go to my backlog box. Now, I know 2 episodes ago, I did Ultimate Spider-Man. And the last show I did Ultimate Black Panther. So this time around, I'm going to go back to, like, we know 2008. Like 2008, man. This is just me, like, catching up and doing what I want to do. But this storyline of Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel. And I found this on Marvel Unlimited. Now, I highly encourage you guys to get Marvel Unlimited. And I highly encourage you guys to get Global Comics app, because you can actually catch up and read some of the best comics that's out there. And that is also in my backlog box. And that is what I am currently reading. Now, Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Black Panther, that is not lost on me. Okay. Like, those are not slow leaks. And I highly encourage you guys to read those two. And I highly encourage you guys to read Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel, because I recently read the Ultimates from like 2014-15 era where Blue Marvel was part of this team. And it was probably like one of the most black teams I've seen in a good while. But Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel is what I'm reading in my backlog box. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Comic Book Declassified. Do not forget to hit that like, and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you get notified on all of our content. And feel free to leave it in the comments on what you thought about Spider-Man versus Predator, because I strategically left key moments out in this issue because you ought to know what I'm about to say. Go to your local comic book store and get yourself a copy of it. Get yourself a physical copy of Spider-Man versus Predator. And if they just so happen to be sold out, and if you just want to collect variants and just you still want to read it, always go on your Kindle app and go ahead and buy it digitally so you can support the comic book digitally. Hope to see you guys next time, y'all. Peace.